Someone told me the other day in my comments section, "Wow, Casey, I can't wait for you to blow up one day." And without any context, I feel like that's such an alarming thing to hear. But what do you mean? When? 10,000 of you being here is so freaking cool and crazy at the same time, and I can't even begin to thank y'all for your support. What if I was like actually an industry plant this whole time? Like, really, I'm a eucalyptus plant who is in dire need of hydration. A lot of you might not have been around when I posted my first video of Camp Rock because it was over 2 years ago and barely anyone was watching my videos at the time. Please caution yourself before visiting that period of my life. I was pre-medicated and having an identity crisis. I don't know why it took me so long to do the second movie, but we're here now at Final Jam doing another breakdown. I don't even know what that means. Why did I say that? Camp Rock 2 is set a year after the first movie and has a much different theme surrounding it compared to the first. I won't spend too much time bringing you up to speed from the first Camp Rock, especially since I already have an entire breakdown for it already. Luckily, this movie kind of stands by itself plot-wise. The last movie was mostly about Mitchie, our main character, finding herself at this prestigious rock star summer camp, and the movie famously starred the Jonas Brothers, who also play a fake boy band called Connect 3, which sounds like a Christian rock band. Shane, the lead singer, also has some kind of like self-discovery thing going on. Both Shane and Mitchie were really annoying to me.
Can a guy get some peace?
Sorry, was that you playing?
I'll leave a link in the description to my Camp Rock video if you want to watch it, but it's not required to know what's going on here. So maybe just don't watch it. So Mom and Mitchie are ready for another summer at Camp Rock. Mom, like the previous movie, is doing all the catering, and she has the cutest Volkswagen bus I've ever seen. Upon arriving, Mitchie notices that a new camp opened up across the lake from Camp Rock, and it's named Camp Star.
Did somebody open another camp?
So unlike the previous movie, today's story isn't really about one particular character outside of a few side plots, but more about Camp Rock itself and its rivalry with this new camp.
I don't think it's anything to worry about.
Mitchie's arrival to Camp Rock is met with a lot of reunions. I couldn't help but noticing Caitlin and her head packed with extensions. Is she preparing for the end of days? I'm confused. Mitchie and Caitlin, who were BFFs last year at camp, arrive at their cabin and reunite with all the girlies from the last movie. Tess, who was our mean girl from the last movie, interrupts to claim that nobody cares about her life.
I guess no one cares about my life.
Do you know how silent I would be if someone said that moments after greeting the camp friends I haven't seen in a year? And then she immediately moves on and asks Mitchie the tea about her and Shane.
What's going on with you and Shane?
Okay, so backing up a little bit. So by the end of the first movie, Shane and Mitchie were singing a song together on stage, and as far as we know, they've been texting and they've been emailing each other.
Wait, I told Shane I'd text him once we're almost there.
So Mitchie explains that her and Shane have been in this weird talking in between stage because they haven't spent any time together since the year before. As a reminder, Connect 3, the non-Christian rock band, is supposed to be really famous. So one could assume that they have been booked up with shows and concerts and showing up on Hannah Montana. Before we proceed, I just would like to announce that Joe Jonas liked my TikTok once. Joe Jonas liked my TikTok. Joe Jonas liked my TikTok. Joe Jonas liked my TikTok.
She already comes to Bikini Bottom from Texas to instill her Republican ideologies.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's past my bedtime. So Connect 3's bus breaks down on the way to Camp Rock. They call a tow truck company, but Shane really wants to try and fix the wheel himself.
Oliver tried and he couldn't get it. That's because Oliver's not properly motivated.
You should have never taken that shortcut.
Except he does it wrong, and the bus falls into the lake after the wheel pops off. Now, I'm kind of a dumb bitch, but I don't think that's how physics works. And if they were putting the wheel back on a few minutes ago, why didn't it fall before? You know what I mean? I'm so serious when I say that the graphic on the side of the bus looks like the most mid-Christian rock band I've ever seen. And Connect 3 refers to the Father, the Son, and Allison Stoner's hair extensions. Over at Camp Rock, Peggy, who won the Camp Rocks competition last year, claims that she can't think of anything musically for the opening jam and hopes Mitchie came up with something herself. I personally noticed a pattern watching this movie, and while this movie isn't really about Mitchie, she ends up taking over everything music-wise, which I'll elaborate on later. But her leading the group musically is always staged as some kind of collaboration, even though it's definitely not. You see those leaves on the ground? Yeah, they filmed this shit in Ontario, Canada in the middle of autumn. It must have been really cold at night. You might be thinking, why is Connect 3 coming to Camp Rock if they're so famous? Well, if you remember from the last movie, the camp director is their uncle. So they're like back again. The last time they were only there because Shane was like doing a bunch of bad shit in the media and he needed to like clean up his act or whatever. I'm not getting into it. Go watch my other video if you want to know. What's funny to me is that during this entire movie, you would never know that they are meant to be internationally famous because not a single person gives a fuck.
I know it's gonna be hard, but just treat us like normal campers. Wow.
Camp director Brown explains that there's less people at Camp Rock this year because the new camp opened up across the lake and it's run by his ex-bandmate who is a horrible person according to him. The dude in question who owns the camp also happens to own a big record company, and Tess is already entertaining the idea of committing treason.
Axel Turner, the guy who owns Star Records, he's across the lake.
In the middle of camp director's announcement, a bunch of boats start shooting things in the air. I mean, that's a pretty valid assumption to make as an American. Out from the sky comes gifts from the other camp filled with treats and snackies.
It's full of marshmallows.
Graham crackers.
Let me display this better. Family picture. Family. And the new camp is inviting everyone to a bonfire, which is clearly some sort of ploy to get people to join their camp, but everyone's super excited about it.
Camp Rock's invited to an opening night bonfire.
When the Camp Rock group gets there, they see how nice the other camp is, and it literally looks like a sandals resort. I like that they have Frankie Jonas in this movie because he has some occasional hijinks with his brothers.
You think I'm gonna drop it in the water?
Camp director Brown is greeted by Axel Turner, who is the owner of Camp Star and his ex-bandmate, and he is dressed like he's in the Matrix for some reason, so maybe he's not even real. He claims that there's no bad blood and that there's no reason that they both can't operate like right next to each other. I mean, obviously, he just loved the location. Tess is the least loyal person to ever exist and is unbothered by it.
Wow. I know, right? That's all I've been saying since I got off the boat.
And honestly, good for her. But yeah, Camp Star has this whole X Factor vibe going on. After all the Camp Rock people get there, Axel gets up on the stage and opens the mic up for anyone in Camp Rock to come up there and sing.
Does anyone have anything they'd like to play?
The audience, by the way,
Camp Rockers, don't be shy.
Unresponsive. And Mitchie is like, well, if no one else will go up, I guess I'll volunteer. You mean a camp full of insufferable theater kids wouldn't be beating the shit out of each other to perform at an open mic? All right, sure, we'll pretend. That's okay. Mitchie obviously has to be the lead vocalist again, while her other friends are her backup singers. Also, apparently this performance is only on the DVD that I have, which is weird because it feels very essential to the story. So Mitchie is doing this stripped down song on the guitar. Axel comes back and has his group of campers perform, and it's clearly pre-planned, which feels unfair. They're all dressed like characters from Grease. The guy performing is Luke, and he is their Mitchie. He is the front man, he's cool, he always wears a hat, he dances well. Camp Star's performances are supposed to impress me like they impressed Camp Rock. I'm not entirely impressed. Luke is lip syncing to some T-Pain autotune shit. My favorite thing about this performance is that every time they sing the word fire, they shoot off an absurd amount of explosions. I think if the Camp Rock people knew that they would have to prepare something, it would have at least have had the same level of preparation as this performance. This was supposed to be a bonfire. So after almost setting the audience on fire, Axel invites everyone, including the Camp Rock staff, to come over to Camp Star.
Our cabins are air conditioned.
Okay, but can your camp director put air conditioning in the cabins? Were we ever talking about doing that? Also, Nate gets hit in the face with some girl's bracelet during the arson performance. So she goes to apologize to him and get her bracelet back. She also happens to be the daughter of Axel Turner. And Nate is Camp Rock director's nephew. Ooh, Romeo and Juliet thing. Super original. How about make Nate gay? It's 2010. Where's the representation, huh? I demand gay Nick Jonas. Somebody call Glee. Hello, Glee? We need to make Nick Jonas gay. Yes, we need gay Nick Jonas in Camp Rock too. Okay, I let them know. Mitchie is working overtime to make sure all the campers leave and don't get distracted by how much better their camp is.
Votes now.
She runs into Grease Lightning, who is kind of a massive douchebag.
Do I know you?
Luke Williams. I'm giving you the fire.
There isn't any pyrotechnics here, so every time he sings fire, he just shits himself. I think he is the only accurate depiction of the average type of person that we would see at one of these camps. In the middle of Mitchie getting fed up with Luke's comments talking bad about Camp Rock, Tess decides she's gonna make the switch. She's very confident with this decision. She saw the fire and wanted more, and honestly, I'm happy for her.
That was great what you did up there. I'm giving you the fire.
Uh-oh, does anyone have a mop? So the next day, everyone at Camp Rock is sad because Camp Star is ruining the vibe. Camp director announces that he's lost so much staff that he has no choice but to close Camp Rock.
And I can't believe I have to say this. Camp Rock is closed. Effective immediately.
Hold on a second though, because how about a now hiring sign? How about an Indeed advertisement? You already have everyone's money. And now before we proceed, I just have to point out that the narrative is now that Camp Rock is struggling financially. They have been understaffed and clearly they are running a lower budget operation than Camp Star. And this feels really contradictory to the first one because Mitchie's mom had to do the catering to even get Mitchie in the camp because it was too expensive.
Well, actually, we're going. Connie's catering is going camping.
You mean to tell me that all these teenagers' parents are paying out the ass for them to not even update this shithole with air conditioning? This is a KOA in Springfield, Missouri, ran by Joe Exotic from Australia. Is this a money laundering operation? But Mitchie is not accepting this as an option.
I don't know, Mitchie. We can't back down, can't back down.
This is me dancing in front of my parents during the 2008 housing market crash. Is banging on shit really all that necessary? Just be normal. So we get this big number led by Mitchie about not backing down. And then I see a total of 6 of them, plus the Jonas Brothers volunteer to be camp counselors. Camp director is down for that. Is everyone else just gonna vibe and hang out? I thought we weren't backing down. Looks like we're all just sitting down. Are the new counselors still paying money to be there? Are they getting paid? Where is Mitchie's friend who spoke Chinese in the first movie?
Jinjaji Mitchie. It means happy summer, Mitchie.
I just realized that everyone forgot about her. I don't even know her name. Jason ends up watching the youngins along with Frankie and they don't respect him. Frankie likes to record everything with his handy cam that I thought fell into the lake, but I guess it's fine now. The new counselors are trying to run the camp, but for some reason they suck at it. There's like a 1-second clip of Peggy getting ambushed by angry teenagers with guitars, and she's really stressed out about it. Peggy, I'm gonna need some context. Like, what could have possibly happened here? What did you do? Mom is frustrated because she's in the kitchen rolling a bunch of meat all by herself, even though Mitchie said she would help, but she accidentally double booked herself because she's overworked. Damn it.
I just rolled 100 pounds of raw hamburger all by myself.
I hate rolling meat by myself. We also gloss over one of the teenagers accidentally ordering 50 cases of beach balls instead of black beans. I know we're all hee ha ha about that, but Connie absolutely needs those fucking beans. Oh, by the way, Nate's like watching Dana through some binoculars without her knowing. How about go look at some birds, Nate? Go find a turkey vulture. Watching people without them knowing is creepy and weird. He gets knocked over by someone wakeboarding and gets washed up on the Camp Star side of the lake. Dana sees him and gets excited and starts asking him a bunch of questions. She wrote his name on her forearm though, so look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm very disinterested in the side plot. I only have the bandwidth to care about one straight couple at a time. They're just shoving their straight agenda up my anal cavity. Another side plot of the story is Shane and Mitchie. He only decided to come back to the camp because he wanted to spend time with his new girlfriend. Ooh, Shane has a girlfriend. But due to the unprecedented situation of both of them needing to save Camp Rock, their plans of hanging out always get interrupted by having to work.
Are you coming?
That's cool, I'll catch up.
Shane acts like a baby about this as the story goes on, so more on that later. Later that night, the gang is sitting around realizing that if they had time to put together an elaborate performance, that they would beat Camp Star in a competition like Final Jam, from the first movie. So the next morning, the camp counselors do an intimidation ritual, which involves them tribal clapping on enemy territory. Which I know you've all probably seen this clip. It seems like Mitchie is the appointed leader of the tribe because she's always speaking on behalf of everyone, and Luke is her adversary and king of Camp Star. So Mitchie declares war on Camp Star. Basically, she calls them Camp Diarrhea.
Let me tell you something, you shut the fuck up.
She insists on having a head-to-head competition on their stage, which breaks everyone into song. Personally, I think they're doing too much. This could have been more diplomatic and mature. We didn't need to get blood on our hands. Whose side is this guy on, and why is he doing gymnastics on the walls? I think I would be irrelevant enough to be one of the campers clapping in the audience, as if my untalented attendance ever meant anything to anyone. The hand pose is a bunch of bullshit. I'm sorry. What? Not a single one of these fucks have ever met someone in a school parking lot before in their youth, and all of them have the weakest form I've ever seen. Subscribe if you want tips on how to hit someone correctly. Axel comes out thinking the competition is like a great idea because he thinks his campers would absolutely smoke them. So he suggests that it be televised in front of millions of people.
Well, how about a worldwide audience? What if we put this little competition on TV?
Who are these millions of people and why would they care about this? I don't know. All of the Camp Rockers are really excited about this, except for Mitchie because she's really shy. And what I don't understand is that this all seems like it's up to Mitchie.
Come on, Mitchie. This could be huge.
Please, Mitchie, please. Actually, how about you sit this one out if you're not sure? Why should we even insinuate that everyone else lose out on the opportunity to be on TV just because Mitchie has some weird shit going on? She reluctantly agrees, and now they have to perform their best number yet. Because the last performance that Camp Star gave was so intimidating. Obviously, no one has any ideas about what to sing except for Mitchie, who wrote a duet but says it can be converted into a group number.
It's a duet.
I think I can rewrite it and make a part for everybody.
I'm gonna call bullshit on that. Jason also insists that kids are included in the number. Yeah, we're just gonna have these dumbass kids set some guitars and tambourines on fire in the background. They'll be fine. So now they're super hyped. Mitchie's excited until she overhears the camp director grilling Mom about Mitchie agreeing to this without his approval.
How could she do that?
He thinks that his campers aren't at the caliber of Camp Star, not because they aren't talented, but because of performance budget. He seems to be so set on Camp Rock closing.
We are done, and not just for the summer.
I think he might be trying to evade taxes. I love how Mitchie is clearly pressed up against the door, but they can't see her. So yeah, Mom is like, oh, Mitchie. Well, she didn't know that she was setting Camp Rock up for failure. Obviously, Mitchie is really upset about this. She runs away. They're like, oh my God, how long was she standing there? With this new responsibility of making sure that Camp Rock doesn't look bad, Mitchie is out for blood. She ends up being the only person taking this seriously. She clears Director Brown in front of everybody.
We may have our doubters, but we have come way too far.
Yeah, okay, Land Down Under, she's looking at you. So you can go change your diaper now. All she wants is for everyone to put on a good performance, which based on the many dance numbers that they've done and last year's Final Jam, I think is a pretty reasonable expectation to have.
Now let's go get to work. Now!
This part of the movie pisses me off because she's trying to hype everyone up. She is a woman in business, okay? And Mitchie is managing every aspect of this performance. Without her facilitation, absolutely nothing would get done.
Do you know who's doing the vocal arrangements? But we've got to make some decisions about the music.
Shane is starting to get on my last nerve, and I don't know what his problem is. All of a sudden, he's complaining about not spending enough time with Mitchie in the middle of her being bothered by everybody. And then when she has more pressing things to do, he storms off.
Sorry.
Actually, Shane, not a single person right now has time for your little man outbursts. Maybe he feels like his testosterone is being harvested by the evolution of feminism. This Ben 10 Caillou acting shell of a man does nothing but complain. Watching this, it really pissed me off because it's not like he's offering to help.
I don't even know why I'm here. Take my advice and never get a girlfriend.
Never get a girlfriend. Oh no, you're not the center of attention for once. He's just angry because he only joined camp to hang out with Mitchie, and clearly she has limited availability on her calendar due to her moving up in business and things. You can't date a woman of ambition and expect her to schedule things around you. Pick up a broom. Mitchie walks in, everyone is sitting and not doing anything. La-di-da-di-da, we're all taking a little break. Mitchie says, oh yeah, I was watching y'all and you look like shit.
I was watching and it looks like we're gonna need a lot more work.
I'm on her side, unapologetically, because there's so much riding on this. Not only is this gonna be televised, but now Mitchie's name is on the line. Jason comes out and talks about this great idea he had for the kids, and I'm supposed to think Mitchie is a bad person for saying it needs to be in the background?
That's great. I'm sure whatever it is, it's just gonna have to be more of the background.
Because Jason, it's been over 5 hours since the pre-production stage of this, and now you have decided that you want to reconstruct everything. Maybe you should have been more involved in making sure your team was represented the way that you wanted. Okay, like where were you 5 hours ago? We have deadlines. We have a schedule.
You guys have to work with me. You gotta lighten up. Really?
If Caitlyn and her 8-season special edition box set of extensions told me to lighten up, she would be left with 3 seasons. How fucking dare you undermine the leader you and your people volunteered? Oh, now all of a sudden people have all these ideas and constructive criticism. And then when they all leave, they all start talking behind her back.
That girl is taking the FUN out of summer.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so awesome. I love that. Weren't you all the ones that wanted to be on fucking TV? Because that's what made this suddenly more than just about summer camp. Oh, tax evasion and Caillou pissed me off because he told Shane to interrupt practice and start a water fight.
I think you know what you've got to do.
Seriously, people have got to start being on time.
Dude, you just got over bad-mouthing a 16-year-old because you think your lazy-ass campers can't compete with Camp Star on TV, and for some reason he wants to sabotage it?
Are you kidding? This is what summer camp is all about.
Mitchie is rightfully irritated. An entire day was wasted because people can't get their shit together. Ooh, let's be on TV. Oh. Don't sign up for RuPaul's Drag Race if you can't sew. So everyone's hanging out, roasting their marshmallows. Shane wants to know where Mitchie is. And, you know, where is she? Guess what? She's inside working.
Sheet music, Soggy.
Just pouring myself into my music.
This comment would have sent me into solitary confinement. This is rage bait, and I would have taken the bait. I would have set him on fire. She has more patience than I do, though. Gets right to the point, asks him if he's there to help. He's like, no, I can't because we're doing a moonlight picnic. What do you think this is? Are you trying to get Mitchie to commit a felony right now? And to get mad that she won't spend time with him is so insane when she literally asks him now if he's there to help.
Are you here to help?
I can't.
Maybe help your girlfriend. And when she finally brings up the water balloon thing that got every single person to hang it up for the day, now she's the villain. They sing a duet that frames this as a both sides having their own side of the story argument kind of thing, and that they just aren't understanding each other, as if there's any nuance to this. The next morning, Mitchie wakes up the same time as she always does, early. She gets up and every single person is already practicing, all facilitated by Shane, who never apologized the night before. One could look at this and go, oh, surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise!
I don't know. I would think he's trying to make me look bad. Like, this is narcissistic behavior. Suddenly everyone's apologetic because they can listen to a man. But when Mitchie keeps everyone in line, it's, oh, you need to lighten up.
He can be pretty persuasive when he wants to be.
And then he facilitated a new arrangement to their song that she spent forever working on.
I don't think you got the new arrangement yet. Needed a lot of work.
Said it needed a lot of work. Dana sneaks up on Nate to go talk to him because she really likes him. And when he doesn't immediately respond the way she expects, she just rails him for not expressing his emotions correctly.
Here I am.
That's all you have to say to me.
I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
There's nothing you're supposed to say.
Every day I see you looking and waving, and I'm all, that's so sweet. I so like him. You do? Really? That's what you say?
She claims he never talks about himself and that he's not expressing himself the way that he should, according to her. So I want to back up a little bit. Dana, have you ever met an autistic person before in your life? What I'm trying to say is Nate is gay and autistic. Oh, also Shane and Mitchie are hanging out now, which would have happened earlier if everyone didn't expect her to do everything by herself. Anyways, Nate decides that his only way of being able to express his feelings correctly is through writing music. So he writes Dana a song. I really do think that he's on the spectrum. I don't even mean that in a funny way. You might be wondering what Camp Star has planned for this televised competition. So Jason and the kids go investigate, and the song they played is catchy and all. I do really like the song, but why do we have Sia minions in the background? The girls are really out of sync. The wardrobe looks like an Adderall addiction. Am I supposed to be shaking in my boots right now? This is a Candy Apples dance routine. We have all the money in the universe, apparently, and we have this. So the kids debrief the next morning and let everyone know what they saw. But apparently Tess and Luke are doing a duet, which was a big surprise for them. And now they feel also compared to do a duet, as if, like, why does that matter? Without hesitation, everybody wants Mitchie and Shane to do a duet.
You're our two strongest singers.
Yeah, to help save the camp.
So we're just gonna be okay with Mitchie leading every possible song this year.
I think I can rewrite it and make a part for everybody.
And no bad blood to Mitchie, but this would not fly. I'm sorry, because there would be at least 12 teenagers cutting throats for the frontrunner spot. Do you even know what kind of crimes a mildly talented 14-year-old girl would commit to sing a 5-second solo in choir? And let me remind you that they are all okay with not only Shane and Mitchie taking the spotlight again this year, but not a single person is planned to be included in this performance vocally. The last performance, potentially ever. Why are any of them even there at this point? So tonight is the night everyone has been waiting for, the final jam.
As the sun goes down, the volume goes up.
Now that I think about it, I don't think it's called Final Jam. Is it really just 2 performances? Everyone's super nervous because they're going head to head. They're going to be on TV, it's just a lot to process. The announcer opens up the show. She's kind of like advertising Camp Star, which really upsets everyone.
I was there studying music. This is the place I'd want to be.
Why is she saying that?
Camp Star does their number. I definitely like their wardrobe a lot better than their initial choice for a performance. But the song just isn't as good as the other one. The opening lyric is, I was ready for this since I was cradling. The song sounds very catchy, but it's about them being better than everyone else and tearing it up, which I guess is pretty reminiscent of the average pop song in 2009.
I hate crust on my bread, and birds make me nervous.
Do you guys think Nate is autistic? One thing I didn't mention is that everyone watching the show is voting via call or text, kind of like American Idol. After the performance, Brown talks to the announcer, to kind of like hype up his group a little bit. But the lady admits that the whole thing is rigged, and Axel is just paying a bunch for like an advertising campaign to send potentially millions of people text messages to vote for Camp Star. So the whole thing is rigged. And it has to be random people getting these text messages because even the Camp Rock people get text for this.
You were really a star, and I really gotta go.
But Camp Rock goes on to perform. Mitchie and Shane start off doing a duet by themselves. And I got really caught off guard when everyone ran on stage and started dancing the way that they were. A couple of dudes started spinning on their heads because they're singing a folk song. The song sounds like it was written by Train. They also play a bunch of videos in the background that I assume Frankie filmed to show that they're a real and genuine camp, unlike Camp Star. Also, I can't help but to notice that Mitchie and Shane have wireless mics, and I didn't see a mic in Camp Star's last performance. We're real, we're here, and we're always showcasing the same two people at Camp Rock. Come join us today. They get the results of the performances, and Camp Star won. Everyone's devastated. Mitchie feels like a failure. I mean, it's not like this wasn't a total setup, right? But it turns out none of this really matters because the performance looked so much more fun. So now a bunch of people are calling in to go to Camp Rock.
The phones are going crazy.
And it was because of Mitchie and Shane. I guess Brown is gonna have to find something else to claim massive financial losses on his taxes. So the camp is saved, and even though this guy didn't do shit except bitch and whine while the teenagers saved his business, absolutely everyone's parents are expected to pay their bills in full. Wow. I think this one was a lot easier to watch compared to the first. I still dislike Shane, but Mitchie did have a lot of great character development in this one. I think that she was a lot more admirable, especially since she was like trying to hold everything together. I know why they pushed Demi Lovato to sing nearly all the music in here, given how much they wanted to, push her into the Disney machine and all. But the one thing that I did like about the first movie is that there was a lot more diversification of people singing different songs. And in this movie, everyone just trolled around in the background, and it just seems kind of like missed the point of this being about a summer camp intended to have a bunch of teenagers who can all sing and dance because only one girl is singing. Anyways, if you like this video, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.